So how did you hear about premium care?
Well, I had been searching for a while for a good plastic surgeon. In my case, it's something I'd waited for about 5 years to do. And after I graduated from college, I decided just to browse around on the internet, see what I could find. Just being a student, I knew that a lot of options were really out of the price range, at least in the States where I'm from. Washington, you're seeing doctors there who can cost anywhere from minimum $8,000, $9,000 and up, and so I wanted to look overseas because it's pretty well known, I think, that medical tourism is a thing and it's becoming a really growing market. And so I decided to look online to see about what the top plastic surgeons were overseas, generally in Central and South America, because traveling overseas is in Thailand, India, doesn't seem quite as safe to me. I checked realself.com, which is probably the largest review site, and as I'm sure a lot of people really see a lot of their plastic surgeons for the first time. And just judging by the excellent reviews, I had selected Dr. Campbell and Dr. Restrepo as one of my options. After I'd gone through and I had 7 or 8 options, I messaged each of them. I gave them a profile of who I was, what their impressions were. I looked for feedback on what they had to say, got quotes, and just saw how the general service was. And of many of the top-rated doctors I saw who were in Central and South America, there wasn't one who treated me with as much detail and response and clarity as the premium care team did. And within a day, if I messaged them, they would always get back to me. If I had a question, I could call them. And there was other group of people, they wouldn't respond to me for a week, had broken English, which I speak a little Spanish, but not exactly enough for, to feel totally comfortable holding an online conversation with something that's as important as this. And Premium Care has a beautifully built website, and they've gone through so many steps to really seem safe, which at first I wanted to pick something that was both affordable, quality, and I felt safe with my choice. And Colombia was a place that was a little bit scary at first, because I think for a lot of people, both unfairly and fairly, it has somewhat of a reputation, even if most of it's in the past. And so once I talked to the team, looked into it more, if you look on Facebook and YouTube and see all the other photos of the city and everything the team has done to make you feel safe, and to show you there's no doctor, even in the States that I saw, that had as clear a layout and a plan as to what I could expect with my surgery. When I did consultations in the States, the doctor would sit down with me for maybe 10, 15 minutes, talk about what I could expect, give me a really rough quote, but I didn't honestly feel like I got the time of day from either they or the staff. And other than a general idea of what it would cost and what they'd kind of do, I didn't actually know what the procedure would be like, what kind of garments, what kind of plan I would be expecting, recovery time. They just didn't seem to have the time for me. And I was walking into their office, whereas me sitting, thousands of miles away in Washington, talking to just the premium care team, I got everything I ever wanted answered with very quick responses, and they had a beautiful system, a booklet. They have basically a short little novel of what you can expect going down, and step by step, from preoperative to surgery to postoperative process. And for me, that was just a sign that that Premium Care really cared about not only their image, but making sure the patients felt safe and that they got the best experience they could with the surgery. And once I finally talked to Campbell in person, he spent 30 minutes on the phone with me after he got off work, just talking to me what I could expect. I was pretty blown away, and I felt right that this option was for me, especially for the price that I ended up paying for it.
Wonderful. And now that you already have your procedure done, do you think that Premium Care lives up to its name?
Oh, yeah, easily. Where to start with that? The thing is with what I've seen, as I said, they've had this perfectly laid out process from the moment I went with the quote and decided, hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna jump on it with this opportunity. They were sending me instructions, making sure I got blood tests, 2 cycles of that, just to make sure that I was safe ahead of time. Once they walked me through where I could get hotel recommendations, like the hotel laws, the recovery suites, and other options that they had basically pre-approved as being safe options. They went ahead and made sure that there were places that would accommodate their patients, and that we wouldn't only be safe there from the medical standpoint, but also from just the day-to-day living, and living in a safe, and staying here in a safe area, which is hugely important. And then going through and giving me directions like discontinue these medicines, these supplements. They took like so many weeks before, they took every precaution in making sure I was safe. And then once I arrived, every step of the way, they've been holding my hand and checking in on me and making sure that I've been safe. I mean, the first day after surgery, I had the nurses stay with me all night, checking my vitals, just sitting up in a chair, watching me basically sleep. I mean, not kind of as crazy as that, but being there whenever if I ever needed them. If I ever had a problem getting out of bed, they'd jump over, make sure they got help up. And every day since I had my surgery, they've come in every day to check how I've been doing, my blood pressure, making sure everything is healthy, checking for any complications, checking my pain. And if there's any problems, we could WhatsApp them or email them or call, or just walk down. I'm staying at the Hotel Oz. The clinic is literally 30 seconds away, 2 buildings over. I could walk over and they would walk me through whatever problems I had. There's plenty of pharmacies, and they would give me any recommendations I needed, or get me what medications I needed if I desired them, to help with my recovery process. And when I went in for the surgery, I think a lot of people are scared of the most. I went in and they took every precaution into making sure I was clean and that everything was in line for me to have a successful and healthy operation. Night before, washed with iodine, morning of, washed with iodine, got washed with iodine twice. They marked, they had me fully lined up. When I walked into that room, I think a lot of people worry about going to other nations to get surgery, worried about the quality of their medical technology. And I'll tell you what, I've been in the States before when I was a college student. I've, shadowed surgeries there, and coming here, the quality of the clinic here, the private clinic here, it's a little bit smaller than the clinics you'll find in the US, but the room itself that I had my operation in was large, perfectly clean. I had like 5 people there, 2 surgeons giving me the time of day, as well as an anesthesiologist and anesthesiologist techs and nurses. All there, pristine room, super modern technology that is at least equal to that I've seen at state-run hospitals back at home. And I think that if people were to come here and see what they had, that they'd know that they would be getting, at least the tools on hand are just as good as what they'd find anywhere else. And they've been there and made sure that everything went perfectly. And they supplied me with everything I needed.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful experience.
Yeah.
I know your surgery was very recent. Are you happy with the results so far?
Well, let me tell you right now. I had a lot, both a lot and not a lot to do. I come from the awkward position of about 5 years ago, or 5-6 years ago, I was over 300 pounds, pretty big guy, and I then ended up losing about 150, building back some of it, ideally in muscle and healthy tissue. But no matter how much I dieted or cut down, so to speak, I'd always had the flab of skin, the roll hanging off me, and I could stretch it out, almost like a good solid half a foot, 6 inches or so, which, no one has ever cared but me. But for me, it was something I've wanted to do ever since losing all that weight. And no matter how I tried, I could never get rid of it. So I looked into getting the loose skin removed, which going into it, I went in thinking I'd get maybe a tummy tuck, at least to get the worst of it removed. But I went in there and Dr. Campbell worked with me on an amazing deal to not only get the frontal portion of just my loose skin hanging over removed, but went all the way around and pulled my loose skin down all the way around for essentially nothing more, and for a value that would be at least, and I paid less than a quarter of that I'd pay in the States, which was breathtaking. And for the results, you see YouTube videos of people being terrified about getting tummy tucks or other surgeries, the complications, which I have to tell people that, yeah, some of them might be valid, but I had no problem myself. I'm a young guy, I'm very healthy, and so I will be a little bit biased in saying that. But to give you an idea, I had my surgery a week ago today. I had a full body lift all the way around. And I can do, I can get these squats, I can move around, I'm walking around, I'm going up and down the stairs. I'm not on any painkillers right now other than some acetaminophen. Doctor did an amazing job making sure that I felt okay. The drains kind of sucked. I only had to wear mine for about 3 or 4 days, and coming out definitely sucked. But other than carrying my little blood babies around, you know, the recovery process has been great. I'm a little swollen. Well, I'm pretty swollen, but that's something that's normal. That's going to come with the tummy tuck for at least another few months, and I don't really expect to see the final results until a year from now. But even a week out, when I'm still swollen, I'm still noticeably less. I mean, I can look down, and frankly, I can see my pubic area instead of seeing a skin fold. So, considering that I wasn't able to really do that before, I'm pretty damn satisfied with just 1 week out, barely any pain, other than sleeping on some hard beds every now and then. And occasionally if I sneeze, which is definitely a thing, but it's only been a week out and I'm feeling great for how bad some people have said they had it online. So if people are like worried about that, everybody's different. You know, some people might have complications out to a month or something like that, but I'm feeling pretty damn good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So, did you have time to enjoy Cartagena?
I did. So even though I didn't spend that long here, I'm leaving tomorrow. Been here a total of 10 days so far, full body lift. I had time to go out, got here day one. We were supposed to be here 2 days before. I took my first day just to walk around, explore a bit. I arrived at the Hotel Eyes at around 9 o'clock in the morning. I was picked up by my driver. The premium care coordinates all their drivers to get you back from the airport, to the airport, from back and forth from the clinic. The service has been amazing. They're there, they help you with your bags. Dropped me off at the Hotel Oz. The Hotel Oz staff was amazing, picked up all my bags, everything, helped me inside. Even though I wasn't supposed to check in until 3, I was still allowed to hang out in the lobby. They took everything, put it back, took care of it. And so that I was free to enjoy the day after they still let me have breakfast and coffee, despite not being checked in yet. And after that, I was able to walk around Cartagena a bit, went to the ocean, did some swimming, the water's beautiful. Explored the local area. Just from the Hotel Oz and Premium Care Clinic, about 4 minutes down the road, there's a nice supermarket with all organic foods and lots of healthy and tasty options. You can get like a rotisserie chicken for like 15,000 pesos, so like maybe like $5 US for like a full meal for like you and maybe someone else, depending on how your appetites are. And since then, I've spent days going out to the Old Town, which is beautiful. Stopped by the Chocolate Museum. How to enjoy that a little bit, seeing some of the culture, the artwork, and just the architecture and history of this place is so rich and beautiful that this is really, you know, some people call it the Miami of Colombia and at least parts of South America. And yeah, it looks kind of like Miami, but there's so much more story and depth to it than that I've really appreciated. Going to that you can see in the old city, and just seeing the people in the streets here have all been super nice. I haven't at once felt threatened by anybody. Maybe a bit annoyed if someone tries to offer you a massage or a pair of sunglasses, but that's part of traveling. And the transportation has been great. Taxis are easy to grab, inexpensive, and there's really so many opportunities. Even with me getting all that surgery that I got done, I'm still able to move around and explore the city, even if I can only do it in 2 or 3 hour increments. If I get a little hot and toasty then and need to sit down after a while. But yeah, I've had the opportunity to check out beaches, restaurants, the culture, the history, and a lot of what Boca Grande has to offer.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for trusting Premium Care and for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, happy to.